Since the beginning of the time, when the first bow was built, designed with the concepts, we also needed tools to be able to work on them. Well, the bow industry advances every single year, and we watch and rise the bows year after year after year with a lot of innovation. Now the bow tools are starting to actually catch up. For those of you that actually work with a bow and arrow and press them every single day, you need some reliable tools to be able to tune them, something that's durable, and something that has a little bit different geometry on how you press them. This is some of the greatest bow tools that I've ever seen. Now, pressing a bow correctly is a really big deal. There's a lot of presses on the market, a lot of good products, but in my opinion, this is the most innovative bow press ever developed. And when I saw it for the first time, and one twist of the turn of the wheel and had the bow completely compressed, I knew that I wanted to look further. One of the major things is we've got an entire accessory line. Every single year they're innovating and designing new limb tip tools to be able to take that brand new bow and be able to press it, especially a lot of the over parallel type bows that we shoot nowadays. Now, one of the cool parts about this particular press is they've really worked out the geometry and then spent a lot of time on the tooling to work with the cantilevers, to be able to take an axle or a cam off and still be able to have the bow pressed without it being blocked in any way. And so this is one of the innovative things they've actually built. So first off, you've got a tool right here that allows you to change the distance between the two of them depending on the limb pocket, right? So now we're going to be able to adjust that in and out. Notice that there's two sets of holes. One of them at the top is just dead straight, okay? So you can run them in there and tighten them down. And then the other ones are actually at 20 degrees. The goal is to get the geometry absolutely perfect with the most amount of surface area around the limb, the cantilever, and the cam, with allow you to still extract the axle, allows you to press the bow and do it with the right amount of geometry. And if you do it right, it's very little pressure to be able to take the majority of the weight off of the bow itself. To find the right tool is really easy. I just basically take the press here, I run them on there, I look at the surface areas and the geometry, and I can almost build a little bit like what I want to stay out of, depending on if I'm going to take an axle or I'm going to take a cam off, or I'm just looking at, draw length changes. I can look at what's in the way and what's not in the way and be able to adjust them on the outside. Now this is a really wide platform as the bows have gotten wider and wider and wider, so have the tools. So again, these are wide limb pockets, really wide structure. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here, right here. Now for whatever reason, you can uneven on the back of this too, for one to press a little harder or a little softer. If you had something that was uneven and you needed a little more control over one or the other one. Another thing I wanted to talk about were these limb supports. Now these are able to come out of here and they can run them back in within a couple of seconds. These work really well with the Hoyt bows and allow you to stabilize at the bottom, which helps on the geometry and being able to press them. And also so that when you start to press the bow together, it wants to slip downward. That slipping downward really helps on some of the other bows. Now this is completely spring loaded, so it is not rigid. And that really does help when the bow starts to press to have a little give and allow the bow to go into the groove exactly where it wants to go. So again, like on my Bowtech bows, I may not need these, but if I have a Hoyt or I have a Matthews, there might be necessary, and this will allow you to just put them in and out. Again, having the right tools around the entire thing and having the right geometry really will help you pick any kind of a bow, be able to press it within seconds. In any kind of a design, it's got to be simplistic and it also has to be capable. And that's what this press really has done. It's thought about a lot of the different types of bows because you never know what's going to come into the pro shop. And also crossbows, one of the fastest growing things in the industry right now. This will allow you to press it. So this is a lockdown. You can take the Allen wrenches and tighten all of these independently and it'll lock into one particular place for the majority of the long bows you're actually working on. And you can also pick up this pin and it allows it to lock pretty much anywhere. So right here would be able to work on your crossbow limb. So this right here is fully capable and fully adjustable. Okay guys, I'm going to try to stay on this side of the press and press the bow for you. Now remember, I've got both of them on the inside, I've got a majority of them adjusted. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the bow in place. I go ahead and run it up here like this, and I can widen it or compress it depending on where I want to stay off of the bearings. I want to stay on the majority of the cantilevers right here. Now you can see all of the surface area right here, and each one of the tools have been designed to do just that. Have the most amount of surface area in order to compress the limb. And now I'm going to go ahead and press the bow. So watch, just about 2.5 turns and that whole thing comes completely loose. It's that simple. With this particular bow press, it also works on crossbows. So the whole thing is adjustable with the tools to be able to pull that off too. But again, guys, what a really simple way to be able to compress the bows in and out of there. That right there is the best bow press that I've ever seen in my entire life. It is very simple. It's got some of the greatest tools made, and you should have one in your pro shop. There it is. It's Jimbo approved for sure. The QBD, the quick bow draw. Now this really is cool. Since the beginning of time, we've had to work on cam timing. Back in the day, we had all types of rules that we followed, and today our cam timing is super important for aeroflight. Now we all know the advantages of actually having a draw board. A draw board has long been known to be able to set cam timing, our draw weight. You could actually build your own draw force curve to look at the performance of a bow. And now this whole thing has been custom designed. It has a custom crank with a ratio that allows it to move up and down to micro adjust that cam timing to get it absolutely perfect. It also has a scale on here, so now you can look at the poundage over the entire draw force curve if you'd like to be able to set the perfect timing of it. Now it also has a Velcro strap right here for safety to be able to clamp it on. Obviously all of the weight's on the string and you start to draw it, it moves into control in the bus cable, so as you start to increase the draw weight, many times you have very little holding weight down here, and so you can strap it in. Now it's really easy as a concept. It's both left and right-handed. I'm going to go ahead and just run it in here. Now obviously I've ran it an inch up. I went ahead and zeroed the scale out. And now what I can do is instead of putting it actually on the D-loop, I want to run it onto the string. So I'm just going to lift it slightly. I'm going to go ahead and put it so that it's centered. I'm going to go ahead and put that Velcro strap around it to be able to hold it. And now the ratio is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and run it up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at my cam timing as I roll around, and look how micro it is. It allowed me to really check that cam timing and also allows me to check my weight. And if you look at this side of the press, not only am I looking at the weight of the draw, but also I'm looking at the draw length. Now this really helps inside the Pro Stop save time and money, because if I have a customer that comes in with a bow that he shot last year and he wants to upgrade to the new one, I can set it exactly his draw length, even twist some cables around to be able to achieve that, knowing what he is at full draw with his release. It has all of the distribution I need to be able to pull that off with that custom ratio. Now it's completely held. All I have to do is run the crank backwards and it holds itself. Just some really simple, amazing technology, something that's durable and that works really, really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it out of there. That right there is the greatest draw board. And what's really cool is you can actually mount it to a wall, or you can put it on a rack like this, get it all leveled up, and within a couple of minutes, you're able to look at that cam timing. A lot of pro shops really lack a draw board like this, but there's some real advantages on cam timing and paper tear. This is another one of those tools that's innovative that a lot of pro shops need.